Alright, let's have a look at the 5. Well, it's obviously bullish, isn't it? So we got a bearish bias. Okay. Simple stuff. Simple stuff. So shift in structure. Great. So this is a valid model for shorts. Now, ES to take the New York Open low would completely invalidate the trade straight away, and it's a very probable scenario that ES doesn't slow down, and it does invalidate the trade. If it doesn't, then I will take a short once we hit macro. Okay, I will take a short. I'll answer a couple of you guys' questions in a sec. Number 1, I'm trying not to be sick because I just ate so much food, and number 2, we are forming a model here. What did I eat? I had 8 eggs, 1 avocado, 2 slice. Wait, I'm actually feeling sick speaking about it. 8 eggs, 1 avocado, 2 slices of toast, 1 Americano, and a watermelon smoothie. I'm like semi-sick right now. I'm not like fully sick, but I'm not ill. I'm just saying I've eaten a lot of fucking food. I mean, you know, I literally ate a whole pack of beef mince with 300 or 500 grams of pasta. Right. And yeah, we inverse the order block on NQ and it's paired with the gap. Great. Model's formed. As soon as this candle closes, if we got a gap on NQ and ES, then it's valid. But we're not in macro, so don't spin around in your chair. Right, that's not macro now. Okay. If NQ or ES inverses this bearish gap, it would invalidate the model. We'd likely seek buy stops here. If it respects it, then cool. We would take an entry short at macro, which would be at 45 straight away. Okay. Yeah, if I spin around in my chair right now, Dr. Scene, I will have my meals on my screen. I very much will. Right, the model's invalid, okay. So we're likely going to seek buy stops here. Alright, simple stuff. So it's not actually an entry at the start of Z macro. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you want to look for shorts here, price has to take buy stops again. If you want to look for longs, it needs to sweep sell side. What are you doing with the dogs? It's the dogs, isn't it? You know, new day opening gap, new week opening gap. It's the dogs. Don't really care. That's what I'm doing with it. Too many people, they start, you know, spinning around in their chair. New week opening gap, new day opening. Cool, it's a draw for the week. I don't know when it's going to draw in there. You know what I mean? When's the dog outside going to die? No one can answer that question. It's just one of those ones. So if we get a model to trade into it, cool, we have a clean draw. But let's say, for example, we sweep sell side, and then we form a bullish bias, and then price forms a model for longs. Cool, then I'll say we're trading towards the new week opening gap. That's a nice, strong, clean draw. Previous day high, lovely stuff. But I don't know when it's going to draw in there. You know? Sometimes in this week, it's definitely a probable scenario. Then price drawing lower. You know? Is it invalid because it closed the gap? Yes. So it inversed the model. Right? And what happened? We seek buy stops. So look, ES took the high. So now we've seek buy stops. Now we can look for shorts again. Right? And if we shift below that low on NQ, ES will take New York Open low. It'll be invalid. Right? I should be good in about, I'd say, 10, 20 minutes. Yeah, right now, those eggs. I don't know what it is about eggs, but they don't really sit that fucking well with me. You know what I mean? They don't sit that well. Milo, are you a dog or a cat person? Well, I don't fucking like cats. I think they're pointless, mate. I mean, they chat a lot of shit. They're walking around, you know, making noises all day, just chatting shit. All they want is food. Well, you know, they got enough lives. I've got a balcony. I'll throw it off, and it can walk on, you know. So I don't really like cats. It's not my thing. I like dogs though. I wouldn't get another dog though. I just wouldn't do it. It's just one of those things, you know what I mean? I got my dog, you know, when I was about, what, 7 years old or something like that? 6 years old. And dog's probably about 13, 14 years old. It's like, when that one goes, I'm not getting another dog. I will get another dog, actually. I'll take it back. I will get another dog in the future. And I'll tell you, I'm going to get a Cane Corso. Fully custom, wide body kit, Cane Corso to guard the yard. But I won't get probably anything else. I might get... So with the Cane Corso, I might get a... Oh, what's his name? The GTA dog. I'll get the GTA dog as well. And then I might get like a little gay dog as well. You know, just like a little fluffing. So I have one gay dog, one serious dog that guards the yard, and then the GTA dog. You know what I mean? If you see a Cane Corso, especially one that's like a couple generations in, you'll shit yourself. You wouldn't even believe what you're seeing. The bite force is like 500 psi. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Cane Corso is like, you know, there's no point training Multi. You just got the Cane Corso, mate. Starts pulling karate moves on me, mate. Here's the Cane Corso. Try karate that. Is that... I don't know if... Is that a Cane Corso? I don't know what that... I don't know. I did like the look of these Cane Corsos. So here's the NASDAQ shifting structure now. No. What did I say before as well? So with the NASDAQ shifting below that low, ES is likely, like 90% chance it will take the New York Open. It'll be invalid again. This is a failed shift so far on NQ. It's not forming any sort of gap. Anyway, nice sweep of buy stops with a bearish bias. Yeah. So we got around, you know, 0.31R in the London session this morning. That's what we did. My girl has this dog and it literally kills coyotes. What, that brown one? I find that hard to believe that kills a coyote. I don't know why. Just looks like it wasn't fed, mate. You know what I mean? It's got that face like it's like... Just looks a bit sad. It's not quite at his meal, you know? It's one of those ones. It's like that face of that brown dog's like, you know, let's say I was about to clip my sell limit whilst I was in a long for a 2R and it just kind of goes back to break even. It's just, that's like his face. Fucking hell, we got a load of dogs coming in the chat now. The fuck is this one? Oh, this is the robber's dog. Did you rob that one, Rob? You had to nick that one. Yeah, Rob's dog's not playing around, mate. He looks like he's having a look out the window. He likes the window, mate. Milo, I did fraud on my internship shift sheet. I have to upload to school. Pray for... Well, I mean, I don't really understand your fraud outlook. I mean, I'm not going to pray for something bad. I fucked school up on purpose. I mean, I cheated in my exams, which is great. But when you use the word fraud, I'm completely against the word fraud. I mean, anything, I would literally cut people off for that. I'm not saying I'm cutting you off, brother. I'm saying I just have, from, 5 years ago, I just have a very strong outlook against people who do anything illegal. I fucking hate it. I will cut them off instantly. If they do a Deliveroo, refund, or anything, I won't chat to them again. Ever. Again. I hate it. I despise it. Because at one point in time, I'm not going to get into it, but it's just, yeah, that's that. How long have I been Christian? I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, since I was born, I'd say. I mean, I got baptized, and I went through a point when I was an atheist, and then, shit happens. And it was miracles, really. My brother is like that. Should I stop talking to him? Well, if it's your brother, then I wouldn't say you shouldn't talk to him, but you need to guide him as much as you can and say, look, tell him this. You need to tell him this, because this is what will coincide with a lot of people going down the wrong path, is that if you tell them, say, what person do you know who's making serious money and has sustained it on a longer period of time that hasn't got fucked? You don't hear of it, and they'll be like, oh, but I made 20k USD, 50k USD, 150k USD. Okay, cool. You're still fucking broke, right? And once you get past 100k USD, that's when the feds care. That's when you go jail. That's when your life goes south. Everything. That's when God's not in favour of your life at all. God's never in favour of your life when you're doing illegal shit. Why do you think these type of people always have this karma and they speak like retards? Like retards. You can't even understand, especially the Americans, how they even speak. They sound retarded. And so do the people from London. If you actually seen the people from London, they put on a persona that's not even them. It is so, immature. But we won't talk about that. I don't like to drag myself back to them areas. The wicked earn deceitful wages, but one who sows righteousness. Exactly. That's a similar quote from the Bible that I put on my story the other day about money that's gained hastily is spent fast, it's gone. Right? It's not about what you can't stand. I mean, absolutely you can't stand these type of people, and neither can I. But at the same time, only person who sees everyone's actions is God, and sees every action, every thought, everything. Well, the thing he said, another thing is when you start making big money, you got to be careful of people. They really switch up. Well, no, not really, no. I mean, look, if you're making effort into business, right, and the people around you are not making effort into business, then fuck them off in the first place before you even make money. If they're not on the same path as you, right, they're not trying, it doesn't have to be the same business, right, but as long as they're on the same path and you're both working, cool. But if it's top heavy and Alright, he's a good friend. Fuck him. Who cares? There's no value exchange. If the value's going out of the friendship and you're providing the value, you're getting used. Okay? And you sack it off. Because as soon as you start making money, you're going to get used even more. Oh, bro, can I use this? Can I use that? Or, bro, how do you do this? Fuck off. Just get rid of them before they even know that you're making money. Right? That's what you got to do. And before you know it, if you start walking around telling people what you're doing, oh, bro, what do you do? I manage funds. Oh, what's that, bro? Don't worry. Why the fuck does you need to know? What benefit are you going to bring me? What do you do, bro? So you get sick of it. Don't tell people what you do. Because the only two things that is going to bring when you tell people what you do, because if I told someone what I do, they're either going to be in two situations. They either make more money than I do, which is rare. Right? It's more rare than not rare, right? So they're going to envy. Right? They're either going to be jealous or they're going to envy. Either one are just as fucking bad. Or they're going to try... Envy's the worst because they won't show anything and they just use you. Right? So... Exactly. That's it right there. So just keep your mouth shut. Keeps you alive. Keeps you sane and unfucked by people. Because everyone's trying to fuck you, really. If you think about it. But you can't walk around thinking like that. Because otherwise you're going to go insane. But what stops you from that is just, you know, being polite to people without... You ain't got to say what you do. Who cares? This would be a great content idea. Well, to be honest, brother, I'm at the point I don't really care about content. I don't really make YouTube videos unless it's something that I know will benefit other people, and I don't really make reels unless I've taken a trade. But I definitely understand that. People always envy you doing better. That's why in the Bible... Yeah. You see what it is, right? When I wasn't making no money, no one listened to what I had to say. But I knew. I fucking knew. You know, asked me back then, I even believed that I could dig a hole from the UK and reach fucking Australia. I believed that I could do anything. There was not a doubt in my mind that I couldn't do anything. I'll do fucking anything I fucking wanted in this world. I had no self-doubt. Nothing. But no one would want to speak to me like they want to speak to me now. Oh, bro, you got it, bro. Yeah, try get some information from me. I won't fucking give it to you. So, you know, it's not delusion if it's a real thing. That's the thing that people don't understand. If some other person is walking on this planet doing something that you want to do, and then someone's going to call you delusional to say that you want it, they're fucking delusional. And you say it to their face, and they say, you're fucking delusional. And I went and got it. I'm going to update my bias here in 10 seconds, because what I can see... Yeah. So what I can see is that, right, 10 AM, this is where we could see some volatility and potentially a model. So we got a bearish 5. I know we got a bearish bias. Bearish 15, bearish hourly, bearish 4 hour. Oh, 4 hours, a fucking questionable one, I'll tell you that. Ooh, let's see. So bullish 4 hour, yeah, I knew it. Right, so that is now tight. So bullish 4 hour, bearish hourly, bearish 15, and bearish 5 is fine. It's tight for bias. It can very easily go neutral. But yeah, why is the 4 hour bullish? We inverse the bearish gap. It is no longer bearish. New York open low, completely invalid. NQ even tries to shift. ES will shit itself and go below the New York open low. Okay. So yeah, ES shifted. ES inverse an order block paired with the gap. Great. NQ no. Alright, let's have a look at this. Right. I don't really like how losing that kind of confidence bit by bit and doing what everyone else does. Wait, what? And just doing what everyone else does is called maturing. Yeah, I mean, you know, fuck what everyone else does. Alright, so that is a gap on NQ, but no shift. So a failed shift on NQ, that's our first failed shift. Now this next candle can close below the low, which will form a shift on NQ, which, there you go, ES shat itself. So it just took the New York open low, which is now invalid. Now, what you could see here is that NQ does form a shift. ICT traders will then spin in their chairs and take shorts. That would be invalid. And this is one of those scenarios that is extremely improbable for the trader to take a short. Extremely improbable, right? So that's our buy stops. Okay, there you go. Does inverse mean that it closed above? Right, so I do suggest you watch some of my previous backtesting videos. If you don't already know, there is over 50, I mean, I don't even know how many hours, enough hours to fill up a whole day without sleep of pre-recorded private videos going through the model hundreds of times in this backtesting channel here. Take a look at that, right? It's private. You know, you can't get it on YouTube. It's on YouTube, but it's a private link, right? It's there. We worked through the whole of 2025, every single day through 2025 that was tradable. Take a look. You know, that's the education. And yeah, I know most of you guys are here to make some fucking money. That's what we do, right? But education, you know, I'm not going to be around in 10 years. Well, that's even if I'm alive, right? But I'm saying I'm not going to be on Discord live streaming in, say, 10 years. So you guys need to educate yourself. Listen to what I'm saying. When I monitor price, I mark out the levels. What invalidates certain levels? What is this? What is that? If you don't understand it, ask questions. But don't ask, you know, what is the trading view? Questions like that, you know. But I'm saying generically, and also at the same time, if you don't understand a certain topic, get a whiteboard from Home Pro, stick it on the wall, right? As I said, 38 accounts. You need that. It's essential. Otherwise, you're not making what you should make if you have the knowledge. How do you get there? You follow the scaling plan and you work up, you scale, you grow, right? Which video? I sent it in it's in the chat. So it's in that channel there. The hashtag backtesting ICT Fanatic channel. It's in the Discord. Scroll up. There's countless 3.5 hour long backtesting videos there. These live streams, I mean, they're educating you live whilst also making you money. So yeah. Do you all think it's safe to open a trade on Top Step or what? What do you mean? When? Safe to open a trade where? When? What, now? He must be playing Russian roulette, brother. But he's got the revolver and he's spun it around. Top step, keep open. Oh yeah, no, that's good point. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's all good. Bugging out. Yeah, it's fine. That's all good. Top step's all good. It's only an issue when it says API disconnected, but it's not said that. It's fine. So this is what I was telling you guys. There's over a 60% chance price trading into this bearish gap runs the buy stops, right? So ES takes the New York Open low, invalid, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Big differences in understanding probabilities, statistics, you know. Top step, futures, FTMO. What? So it's good. Right, I'm confused. I mean, FTMO is a forex prop firm that you trade US 100, which is indices, it's not futures. Okay. What's the gayest job you've ever had? Oh no. The gayest job I ever had was probably cleaning toilets at a caravan park, and I got sacked in one day. Now, why did I get sacked? I can't even remember why I got fucking sacked. I got sacked in one day though. So we used to pick up the cleaners on the way to work, right? And it was in a Ford Transit, and the Ford Transit's only got 3 seats. So the cleaners used to go in the back of the van, pitch black, and there would be smoking in the back of the van, and there's little gaps from where you have the front of the van, and there's just fucking smoke coming through from the back because it's hotboxed, and all the cleaners fucking spawn. Oh, bruv, that was the worst job ever. And I didn't actually clean the toilets, right? I cleaned the toilets only like once or twice a day, right? And I only cleaned the females' toilets. I didn't fucking touch the males' toilets. But what I used to do most of the time, I got caught for always just spraying in the air. And everyone used to walk in and say, oh, it smells so good. I was like, yeah, it's so clean, isn't it? You know? And all I did was fucking spray some shit in the air. But that was probably the gayest job that I done, yeah. So we either take buy side or take sell side, you know. So far, there hasn't been any opportunities. Milo, how was your security job? Well, it was alright. Nothing crazy. It's probably the best job that I could have done at the time anyway, because it freed up time so I could watch ICT and study, you know. And I did different types of security shifts, you know. I worked as a bouncer in the clubs, which I didn't like because the hours weren't really there. I mean, they would give me, say, 4 hours of work at £10 an hour, right? And then they would, let's say, put me at different points in the clubs. It was quite fun only when it kicked off, because we had to drag a few people out, or we had to do our special security moves that didn't harm the person unless there was a threat to us. Then it got exciting, because then we could knock them out. But apart from that, it wasn't really exciting. And then I worked in a mental part of the hospital for a little bit. Patients with Alzheimer's mostly and dementia. And they kept thinking that they was going home, but they wasn't. So I had to restrain them sometimes. But it was just a constant fucking mental battle with those dementia patients. Every second. They don't even know where they are. And you got to feel bad for them, because it's like they was once normal, you know? But fucking hell, the amount of teas. Oh, can I get a tea? Yeah, here's a tea. 5 minutes. Can I get a tea? Yeah, your tea's there, mate. It's on the side. So it's like that shit just makes you go insane, you know. And that's why I knew. I was like, okay, cool. I'm starting to understand ICT, and they sacked me because when I got close to my second payout, right, this one I was getting very, very close. Second payout, I already done 10k at this point. I got close to my second payout. I start coming into work in a tracksuit. I already knew. So I started coming in the tracksuit. They sacked me. A couple weeks later, I got my second payout. Fucking left the country. I was so sick of everything to do with the UK. I was sick to death, and I still am to it to this day. I'm sick of the colours of the bus. I'm sick of the roads, the weather, the people, the hospitals, the hospitality, the hotels, the restaurants, the food. Every single thing about the UK, I hate it. I don't miss anything about it, I tell you that. Only the Pepes. Yeah, only the Pepes on Old Christchurch Road. Yeah, give me some Pepes, and yeah, that's it. Hospitals are shit. Free healthcare, my ass. Wait 12 hours. Fucking die in the lobby, mate. In Thailand, yeah, cool, I'll spend some money. But they see me in 5 minutes. Whatever I need, you know? They don't even care what it is. In the UK, you got to be dying. I've seen one guy have a heart attack whilst he's waiting in the... So I was in hospital. No, I was not in hospital. I'm security at the hospital. The guy had a heart attack waiting for them to check him. And then only when he dropped to the floor, they said, let's get someone over it. Yeah, it's about fucking time, mate. I mean, he was sweating and saying he had pain. You know what I mean? So it's just like that type of shit. Yeah, it's not good. Oh yeah, we charge 50% tax. You know why? Because we got the best healthcare. Your healthcare's shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the UK. Canada's not far behind the UK. Do you know why? Do you know how many Indians are getting into Canada? I mean, you know, that's why. It's immigration which kills countries. It really is. I'm not racist. I'm realistic, right? If it was English people, I'd say English people are fucking up Canada, but it is Indians, right? And in the UK, it's a mixture of African and Indian and Muslim. Is everything. I mean, you know, everyone's got into the UK. I mean, you know, even a dog with rabies could get into the UK. Yeah, Poland's great. Poland's Poland. It's got Polish people. Yeah. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm not really fussed. I don't miss sleep over the UK falling to bits or any other countries, to be honest. I don't really care. As long as people are living a better life. Obviously their country was pretty shit, so they left. Who cares? You know, I'm not gonna start a debate with Jeffy Starmer. Right, so obviously nothing as of now. Okay, that's the end of the first day of macro, so we'll be waiting for the second AM. The fact 260 of you actually tuned in is pretty mad, because, what do you call it? Some of you guys probably didn't tune in previously when we don't take many trades, and then you tune in when we take loads of trades. I mean, you just got to tune in regardless, you know, that's what we do. But yeah. Can you explain the New York Open level again? Well, the New York Open is just, you know, the candle that opens at New York. It's 9:30. So it opens at 9:30 and that's it. It's either got a low or a high. It's either a swing or it's not. It's either been taken or it hasn't. I mean, yeah. That's simple stuff. So let's wait for the second A macro. We'll see. As of now, I put NQ in the point of, yeah, swept a little bit of sell stops, but it's accumulating. So yeah, that's it. That's rocket science, Rob, wasn't it? It was. That was rocket science. Ted said at 10:08 was not a shift. Right. Ted, were you not listening to the live stream? I'm concerned for your headphone quality. I will speak to you guys in... I was in a call. Okay, yes, so ES took New York Open low, which invalidated shorts regardless, which puts it as a standpoint of sweep of sell side. Hence, we wouldn't look for shorts. I'll speak to you guys in a second AM macro. When you say you was in a call, my question would be, why were you in a call in macro? Or maybe it was just, you know, it happens, you know, maybe you was doing business or you had something. Or you were still monitoring price, but you was on the call, you know, it's probably one of those ones. Work call, yeah, standard. That's all good, that's normal. I'll speak to you for the second AM macro, alright, I'll speak to you shortly. Well, before I go anywhere, we've got a message from Bitcoin69 here. So, this was almost a G69 question, you know, that we had to, you know, we disposed of him. Can you explain a trade you took on in January on backtesting? What did we do on the weekend? What did we do? No, what did we do yesterday live? We backtested those trades, right? That's what we did. So we backtested already live, answered questions yesterday. So about 120 of you guys tuned in. The other 130 of you guys were missing, but it's all good. And we went through Friday's trade. The trades on Tuesday I posted on YouTube for free. They're backtested there. You know, so yeah, RIP, GG and Yanni, you know. They cut their own leg off, they did. They cut through an artery. Alright. Right, we got, what, Joe Wobby and tech support in the building. Come on, Wobby. Wobby, Bobby, Robbie. Right. Joe Wobbs. What's up, Wobbs? Sweeper buy side, obviously, second A macro, we are looking for shorts. We'll do the bias. We'll do the bias now, matter of fact, because it can very easily form a lovely model. Daily bias. Nothing. 4 hour. Well, it's getting pretty close. It goes bearish at 419, so keep that in mind. 4 hours bullish. And what happened to the 4 hour when it went bullish? It traded bullish. Wow, what a fucking surprise. Hourly time frame is obviously bearish. Alright, the 15 is bearish. And the 5 is bearish. So we are looking for shorts. Lovely. Would I like previous day high to get swept before we take shorts? I don't care, but it is definitely a preference. Okay, as of now, we have swept buy side. Buy side's any sort of high, really. Anything this high would be minor buy side. I mean, you can mark it as anything, so doesn't make a difference. Obviously, previous day highs, there's other levels that are more probable, like London, Asia, equal data, previous day, etc. Price in a premium, got a bearish bias. We are seeking shorts. Minor sell side, pretty good interest for that. That's it. ES as well, so mark that as well. Minor sell side. That's it. Bullish order block shift below the short-term low. That's what we would look for. That's fine. Cool. I get nicknames like that too. What, Wobbs? What are you saying, Wobbs? How's your day going, Wobbs? How's it going? We got Wobbs in the building there.
Yo, this Chris Rock.
Babe, so what do you know about this Rick Ross banger? What do you know about Wingstop, Bobby?
You can't handle this, nigga. You can't have sit down in the corner, shut the fuck up, and take notes, bitch. Just take notes.
Take notes, mate. That's what you gotta do. Take notes. Sweeper buy side, bearish bias. I'm joking, guys. We don't actually listen to music whilst monitoring price. You thought I was serious? Okay. We only did that once. It was because basically everyone was shooting fireworks at my balcony. Well, not at my balcony, but all the way down the beach outside of my balcony. I couldn't even hear myself think, so I thought, I'd rather listen to some music than have a firework blast off in my ear, so. Right. What made you flip bias again? What are you talking about, my brother? The bias is not flipped. The bias is bearish. The bias was bearish before. What? Nothing made me. I mean, no one's walked into my room and said, Milo, change your fucking bias, mate. It's, the bias is formed from the daily, the 4 hour, the hourly, the 15, the 5. If you don't understand bias, as I've said, watch the 2025 mentorship. It's free on YouTube. The bias is based off imbalances. It is what it is. I mean, it literally, the bias, it tells me, the bias is what the bias is. I don't control the bias. The bias is the bias, right? I don't look at price one day and say, oh, but we swept bias. I don't care. Cool. I look at bias. I look for a correlated sweep. Either buy side or sell side, bullish bias, sell side, bearish bias, buy side. Right, cool. We got a bearish bias and buy side. Lovely. Now, what's one thing here that forms a neutral bias, right? This bias is called the dangerous bias, right? It goes very easily neutral. So when NASDAQ shifts lower in structure, and we're looking for shorts here, which is currently on the edge, the 5. So the 5 to change to being, bullish would cause a neutral bias, which won't happen. That's fine. What about the 15? Alright, so the 15, that's neutral there. 3, 4, 8. Okay. And let's have a look at the 15. So why would the 15 be bearish? You see how that's changed? So we inverse the bearish gap. So what causes a bearish bias on the 15? Nothing. So we have a bullish bias on the 15. So that's an update at macro open. You can relook at the 5. That's the same. That's fine. The 15 changed just on that closure there. You see how we're updating, right? Hourly time frame, same. We're not even going to need to look at the 4 hour. We know that's the same, right? Because we haven't traded to 417. As soon as that high is taken, It's essentially giving us a bias on the fall and a draw met. What are ICT traders doing right now when they see this shift? What are they doing? Someone put it in the chat. What are they doing right now? They're doing one specific thing. They're spinning in their chairs, yeah. That's what they're doing. They're spinning in their chairs. Yeah, exactly. They're doing everything but monitoring price correctly. Why the 15 is not neutral? So the 15, right? It traded and took the high and closed and then inversed. It had the opportunity to respect, it didn't. So now we need to take a 15 high or bearish gap. Good question. Now, it has not met the draw. It swept the high, cool, then it closed. So the draw is still bullish, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So, 2 things wrong about this so far. Neutral bias, right? And the 15's about to go bullish as well. I mean, the 15's already bullish. 2 things, right? Neutral bias, failed shift on ES. Okay. Small things like that with the model. That's why we don't take trades like this. Okay. Why did Milo not take that trade? That's why. I have certain things in this model which cut me out of previous forward tested trades from 23, 24, improvements, slight changes, add-ons. Okay. You can't just watch the 2022 mentorship and trade like me. Now, I'm not being cocky, I'm not being narcissistic. I'm saying what I monitor price for is specifically adapted by myself. That's all it is. It's innovation. This PA feels like a Monday. This PA is great. Nothing wrong with it. Everyone's always going to sit there. I guarantee you'll be on Instagram later. Oh, this PA, mate. This PA. Nothing wrong with PA. I've never seen an issue with price action. Either offers a model or it doesn't. Look at price. Let's have a look. So, what did we see from Asia to London? That's quite a bit of volatility for that period there. We're talking 300 points. Asia to London. So what we're getting inside of New York. Accumulated a little bit. Swept some sell stops. Swept some buy side. It's formed a model for shorts, don't get me wrong. It's failed shift on ES. So we're just pointing out things why it's not valid. The bias. Small aspects. On why uneducated would take a loss here. Yeah, it can still trade in favour, cool. Majority no. Right? You can't blame price action. You just don't understand price action. That's not barcode. That's not barcode, brother. That's accumulation. That's manipulation. That's distribution. It's not valid for distribution for us to entertain it. Does that make sense? So unless the Nasdaq died and went sideways for a whole week, cool. But if you look at previous sessions, Asia to London, and it didn't move, and then the New York doesn't move, then I call that bad price action that day. But we've seen a volatile Asia to London. That's volatile. Okay, we're talking Asia and London. That's volatile. And now people wonder why New York's not moving. They must have a fucking brain cell missing. Okay, so you have to do situational analysis. Situation. We're in a situation. What is it? Why is price not moving? Oh, it's because of that. Alright, so just kind of zoom out. We got a W in London. Yeah, we did. I mean, you know, we're already up on the day. I'm up, I don't know how much, but you know, we put it on the YouTube, you know, if you want to watch it. So yeah, we are 0.31R. Yeah. Why do you think different from other ICT trader, which is good, and also you are only one that does bias like that? Because I innovate. That's the difference. I have been trading this model. Now, you might be looking at other people. Now, by the way, I'm also not... okay, right. So, let's say someone watches the model 2022 mentorship, right? They try implement it to price. They try perfect it, and they try get profitable. As soon as they start making money, oh, I can't change it, bro. Or this and that. Okay, I've been trading this model since 2021. Before the 2022 even came out. And that's when I started trading the 2022. So I started with Market Maker Series. Before that, I've been trading for 3 years prior. Okay, so I started when I was 15. Okay, and let's not get to where I started. Obviously, we're talking many different commodities, indices. That's out of the window, right? The 2022, I have years of data from 22, 23, 24, and 25. Each year I've innovated. So I've looked at what's the consistency with my losses here. Okay, price trades into this. Price trades into that. Price took this area. Okay, this was a huge displacement. And I'm like a psycho, receding hairline. Alright, cool. So on a case where the NASDAQ, you know, what would this be as well? IV, invalidation low, minus sell side, taking shorts regardless. If 5-minute inverse, I don't care. So I know the 5's closing in a second. Even if we inverse a 5, even if we inverse a 15, even if we have a bearish bias, shorts are not valid. And different aspects like that. Okay, huge displacement. That's why price already seek sell stops. Price already seek buy stops. It's already shifted. Okay, price has already met objectives here. That's why majority of these... Okay, invalidation low, let's add it. We need more entries. Let's add order blocks as an entry. Does that give more entries to high probable trades? Yes. Let's add it. What about London, the PM? What about bias? What's wrong with bias? He's done for the year. Exactly. That's what they do in December. I'm not trading December, bro. They stick to a routine. Most people are trying to get in a routine because they're that fucked. Oh, I'm going to stick to going to the gym and eating and trading, bro. Alright, cool, you stuck to the routine, but I fucking was already doing the routine, and then I said, how can I fucking improve the routine? And we improved the routine. We improved the model by extensive backtesting. That's what we did. What's wrong with the bias? What most people do. They look at the 4-hour time frame, the daily, and determine the overall daily draw, right? What's wrong with that? As we've said many times. What time frame are we on right now? What are we looking to execute on? The 1 minute time frame. How long does an average trade last if you look at your broker sheet? 8 to 15 minutes. And you're understanding a 4-hour draw, which is how many 1 minute candles? So if you don't include intraday bias with higher time frame bias, what type of bias is that? Okay? You know, it's not good. Not a directional bias for your macro. Do you think you add more improvements? There's always innovation. You know, every year. That's what we do. This coconut water is amazing. Coconut water is something with it, you know, it is amazing. It definitely is 10 out of 10. These guys take entries on the 15-minute and sit for 2 to 3 hours trade. I couldn't do that, man. Neither could I. I mean, well, I say that, but also I am in a Bitcoin trade. I have been in it for a few months, as you guys know. I'm floating up around 65,000 in profit. And I posted that in the group as well, you know, so we do post them trades there. So that's still ongoing. That's at the point of break even or TP, right? So We only take 1 or 2 of those trades a year. Yeah. It's like tweaking your car. Once you master its stock, you see what's the problem and what's good, and try and make it better. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, you know, people get into a car and say the car's working, but the car can be better. It depends how much you want to improve your car, right? Everyone knows if you buy an M3 stock, it's pretty shit until you put the standard downpipes in a tune, right? You know, they wouldn't do it otherwise. But now we're starting to use the abbreviations, aren't we? Gaming chair could always spin faster, I know. It really could. Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. Yeah, because you're borrowing Bitcoin to go short. Yeah, that is normal. So we'll pay a percentage loan fee. Okay. Not a lot. So the 5's now bullish, right? So what's that bias? That's a bullish bias. Closing in 50 seconds as well. One sec, guys. Alright. So it's a lovely shift, isn't it? Is that a bearish order block on NQ? No. Is that a bearish order block on ES? No. Can we get an inverse order block paired with the gap? No. So no trade, obviously. So even if you get your bias on point, there you go. So the 5's obviously shifted back to being bearish. Just quick little updates like that. Obviously the 15 is bullish. You know, the 1 hour, take a little look. It's obviously bearish, isn't it? So we got that closure there at 11 AM. So you check the hourly and, you know, the 4 hours bullish. So yeah, bullish bias. Cool. Inverse order block. No. What's the chat saying? Sold half my position at 98 because I needed capital to scale, and you scaled, and now you're up even more. You know, so that's what we do. That's absolutely great, and he's still floating up. You know, 6K on that short as well. So yeah, it's great. Comment and car, what the fuck? Don't even know what he said. Right, so we inverse this bearish order block, as you can see here. And it's paired with the gap on NQ. So as far as price giving an entry, we're talking a 60 handle stop. Previous day high is in very close proximity. I wouldn't take this position. Because from this area, we're getting a 60 handle stop. Like that. Into the new week. obviously a bearish 5, bullish 15, bullish 4 hour, bearish hourly, neutral bias, no positions to take. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So obviously I was just showing you guys what a lot of ICT traders would be looking at as a long. Now yes, the models form, we swept sell side, etc., but hence why we wouldn't take this position. Pretty obvious, right? We got a neutral bias. Whenever I pull this up, you know, people really do spin in their chairs because they're like, oh, we're getting a position here. I actually only, by the way guys, I only ever pull up this long short position when we're actually about to take a trade. Yeah, there isn't any positions here anyway. Yeah, the 5 is closing in 40 seconds, so that is one thing to note. An inverse of the 5 would be bullish, 4 hour bullish, and the 15 to be bullish. So it would be a bullish bias, which would potentially be an entry as soon as the 5 minute closes, if it does give an entry, which ES will. 4 at 2 to 1, 60 handles stop. Let's take a look, we're getting close to an entry here, so we're looking at 3 micros. Okay, so that's an entry. Okay, so we'll take that long. And then stop placement at the low. Alright. Jam said ES not shifted. ES shifted above this short-term high. So you'd mark this high on the Nasdaq as TS. That's basically it. Yeah, so we're basically running it at 313. Let me just get a really exact place for this. So that's 313.25. Yeah. And then 495.75. Alright. So 495.75. Let's have a look at top step. Yeah. Alright. So hopefully this makes sense. So you can mark this as TS. Can delete that. So obviously previous day high is pretty obvious. We'll be trading relatively aggressively. This is going to also trade the Nasdaq into the previous day. Not the previous day, the new week opening gap, obviously. then we have this high labeled as TS. So that's where we get to reduce risk. And as I say, when you are monitoring price, your only job as a trader is to manage risk. That's it. So as price draws in favor, which you always assume, you know, the cases where price draws to the opposing direction, fine. There's nothing you can do. But as price draws in favor, you have it as TS. You trail. So you trail to the previous low. So whether that reduces risk by 20%, 50, 90, 95%, depends, doesn't it? So in 9 seconds, we're going to get a TS for this high potentially. Yeah, so this high would be TS, and we're looking at 36150 at this high. 36175. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. So it'd be a reduced risk by 85% in that area there. Right, that's it. 36150. Move your stops. That's reduced risk by now 85 or just over 85%. Okay. So your risk is completely reduced. 36150. Okay. So you should be risking around $80 now. So relatively nothing. We move, so TP towards break even, that's 50% obviously, so there's countless highs around 50%. You can see price is slightly more aggressive. It's now taking this high. So what are we going to treat this gap as? This would be a breakaway gap if this candle closes and this closes for a gap, which would actually trail my stops to break even. Now, yes, you could trail to the low of the breakaway gap. I personally wouldn't do that because of the order block, so I would just go to break even. That would be it. Okay, so if we close for a gap here, I would treat that as a break even, and that's it. So I have a break even here at 381. On top steps, I've got a 37625. I've got a 37675. So it'll just be break even on your account basically. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we're about to go break even here. So it'll be a risk-free trade, which is now. Okay, so break even on all of the accounts. Okay, and then let's do it here as well. So where's the entry? I got a 37325, so I'll set it. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so everyone's at break even. A couple of people said just got funded 50k. Lovely. I mean, you know, you're working on from there. So this is a breakaway gap, right? And we'd look for this to expand. Short-term high, if created, would cause me to trail stops to 397.5 breakaway gap low. So this is now a label of TS. Okay, so you can mark this like that. TS. This is a breakaway gap. So we would use it as a point of trail for price to trade above TS. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So out of the second day of macro, we have either a break-even result or price takes TS. Now it's all about managing risk. That's the only thing that we look at. Okay, so there's no risk on the table. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. We haven't taken the previous day high. We haven't traded into the new week opening gap. Okay, so if price trades back and wants to seek minor sell side or sell stops, fine. That's okay. Hence we have no risk. Shouldn't you adjust your TP based upon your entry? So my entry on pretty much 95% of my accounts is right there at 374. I have a couple accounts at 373, 376, 372. Okay. Okay, so it must have taken almost a partial slightly out of this account, but mostly in. Let me just edit that, just to be on the safer side. So I took off 4 contracts. Let's confirm that. Slightly trim my position, you see. Happens. Didn't quite get the full break even there. So you see we're trading out of that bullish order block there, as you can see, for price. So we either get a break even result. Okay. What's your entry on your accounts? Most people would have around a 376, a 380. See, that is now break even. I'm still in on a couple accounts here. So the top step accounts. This account is out at break even. So I still have 2 top steps running with a 376 entry that hasn't been ran, and also a second live account running all of my Apex Alpha futures take profit, my funded. So it's still, I'm actually like 90% in pretty much still. My actual official break even is around this area here, so we'll see. Why my stream are failed to start. You guys can see my screen fine, as far as I'm aware, right? You guys can see my screen just fine. Yeah. So you guys can, so put a message in the chat if you're still waiting for a break-even result, or, you know, let's see. So most of you guys put a 1, so you're actually waiting for break-even. Okay, so you're still in the trade. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so my main break even is at 37575, which would be there. But we haven't seen that yet, so we'll see if that gets us out. So yeah, we took a position in London, and it was plus 0.31R, and then this one was one account break even, and then we might see rest of the accounts out in a fair minute as well. So we'll see. I mean, that's like one tick. That's actually one tick from a 37575. So it's playing games now. That's insane. So I was at 37575, and now it's at 394. I mean, is it going to take me out or no? Because I'm still 90% in. The Nasdaq's having a laugh. Bro's doing wheelies in his chair. Bro is doing wheelies in his chair. Right, I mean, the Nasdaq just, it can't take me out. I don't know what is wrong with the Nasdaq, but we're 90% still in, so cool. So this high is actually going to be a point of TS, which I will use to trail to this previous low, which I just want to get an exact point on this. It'll be 37675 of that high. So I'm still at break even. If it takes this high of TS, then it'll be 37675. Some of the best water in the game is the Panna water. As you guys know, the glass bottled Panna water. If you're not drinking out of glass bottles, you must. It's very important. Alright, I'm trading as of now 37675. So I don't know what's wrong with the Nasdaq, but that's what it's done. So 37675, just trail there. Let's move that on the top steps as well. 376. Yeah. So on the top steps, we're looking at, I moved it by 2 ticks, so it's a $3 profit. So it's still at break even on the top steps. I mean, and then on the second live, other accounts, yeah. Alright, Well, that's the second day of macro so far. Rest in peace. Yeah, let's listen to it. Let's do it. This should take us out. Okay, so are we going to get taken out? I mean, 376.75. One tick again. Okay, hello Nasdaq. I'm here. I'm right here, mate. Yeah. There you go. Okay. I am out. That's the trade, so there you go. That is a break-even trade there. Okay, so you should basically have a break-even result, or you made like $3. C4 made $12. Okay. Nice work. There you go. So that was the second day of macro. Obviously, we are waiting for the lunch. And then the PM, etc. But yeah. Alright. So hopefully that made sense. That was the trade. So that's our second trade today. Can delete this for price. We got Western, got funded off that. Nice work, Western. Yeah, so obviously it ran like 53 points. That would be enough for Western to pass it, obviously. So when it comes to the top step, as you guys know, we don't actually, you know, Z4 said bang. Yeah, I mean, some people will probably look at C4 and think he's being serious. Like, he's just joking, you know. $566, you know, C4 don't get out of his chair for that. 20k plus. So, yeah. Wait for the lunch. See if price offers any opportunities. It didn't want to. You see how we manage our risk to perfection like that? So we had the London. We've seen that we managed our risk to a point where so-and-so doesn't happen. Okay, right, I'm managing my risk to this area. Now look at this probable scenario. Previous day high, new week opening gap, bullish bias, sweeper sell side, continuation, long, etc. model. Price doesn't want to go for previous day high. Okay, so it wants to seek sell stops before it goes back towards previous day high. Okay. Yeah. Even break even is a third of my monthly salary. That's jokes. Yeah, C4 got break even. You know. He's got over 50 accounts. Other people in this group as well. And guess what's happening today as well, guys? Exciting news. So the PvP inside of the group that you guys are, what do you call it? Like mini Mike Tyson's trying to become world champion. We have the PvP, so you can see where you're at in the Discord, you know. Maybe you only funded one account, so you would be classed as a loser, and you'd be on the up and coming. Everyone starts there, right? And you've got the people at the top, 2 million plus funding, 3 million plus. I mean, it is very sickly. That's going to be updated today. Matter of fact, I will take a look at this now and see if I can do it now. Let's have a little look. Rest in peace, the granny got hit by a bazooka. Copy link. Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Paste it there. There's no way the Thai thing's got... No way the far noise has actually made it into the Thai social media network. There's no way I just heard that. There's no way. Oh, it's getting a bit hot now. Exactly, Jack, and that is exactly what we do. We reduce our risk in improbable scenarios. You know? It's very inspiring how small accounts and multiple accounts make a huge difference. Well, you know, it's like a homeless man sat outside of Goldman Sachs trading £100, and then Goldman Sachs trades billions. You know? That's what it is. Right. We definitely have some updates here. We definitely have some updates. This is interesting. Okay, so we got quite a lot here. Alright, this is good. If you didn't already fill out the leaderboard, you're too late. It's all good. You got next month. It's all good. Don't worry about it. All props, both sides, including live. Okay. Right, let's get this on chat. ChatGPT fucker. Okay. Alright, the next one is this one. Let's just drag that across a little bit. Alright. Now it's actually starting to get a bit cold in there. Can never get it right, can I? Right. That's the final one. Cool. Right, and then I airdrop this to the phone. Let's get a bit of water in the system. Should I trim the win? 51,524. No, that's fine. I wouldn't. No, you don't need to trim that. That's fine, brother. That's all good. Just make sure you make about 1.5. So tomorrow, let's say you make 1.560. Just make sure you trim it as close to 1.524, and then you're spot on. Yeah, that's good. You're gonna be chilling. So drop that to the phone. Cool. Okay, ChatGPT, mate. So this is... Oh, shit, I almost fucked my own mic. Right, so ChatGPT, this is the updated leaderboard. So there's going to be a couple new names here. So the leaderboard that you created before, great. I want the same style. You look at the funded size in these screenshots. So you can see funded size and obviously 5x $50k equals 250k in funding, etc. You know, two of those on the same line, you're just going to add them together, right? So, simple maths. So you're going to create the leaderboard. You're going to create it from number one's obviously gold, and number two's silver, number three's bronze, and then the top 10 are in, let's say, a light purple, or, you know, a dark purple, right? Let's do it purple this time. So anything after third place, so 4th to 10th is dark purple, but where you can read the writing, and then anything after 10th place is white. So yeah, so create that from the results I just sent you there. Where it says prop firms used, don't worry about that, don't even pay attention to it. We don't care about prop firms used, we just need the name, funded size on a leaderboard with those colours. Let's get it done. Alright, let's see if he does it first time. He doesn't usually do it first time. Okay, so Milo, if I was to hit a $53,000 profit way before the amount of the trading days is met, would you just take a 1 micro trade every day until reach? Oh, nah. $53,000 profit way before the amount trading days met, would you just take a 1 micro trade there? For a payout? Is that for a payout? Whatever happened, and yeah. Okay, well it depends on the firm as well, because one trading day, it might require a profitable trading day, because on Top Step it's a profitable day, it's not just a trading day, it's above $100 or, you know. So it depends. It really depends what firm. Yeah. For example, Apex, 8 trading days, 5 of them being green. Right. So yeah. But did you meet the consistency though? So that's what you need to look at. Did you meet the consistency? What's your biggest day? What is your biggest day? Do you even know your biggest day? If you don't know your biggest day, you need to log into Tradeovate. You need to go into the settings of one of your accounts, download the PDF, right, for this year, or since you've had the account, so do the last 6 months. Download the PDF, okay. Run the PDF through ChatGPT and say, what's my biggest trade? And then we'll give it to you. And then you can work out your consistency and what balance you need to reach for a payout. That's what we did with C4. That's what we do. is at a $3,000 balance on Apex. I don't think that you've actually met the 30% consistency. I don't think you've met that yet. Maybe you have. I don't think you have though, because of Tuesday last week. And you turned up for London, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to look at the future, I definitely recommend that you just understand where do I have to get to for balance so I can take a payout with prop firms with consistency. So just work out your balance on 30%, where you need to get to from your biggest trade, and then just write that on the whiteboard and say, all right, cool. And then once you hit it, you're going to be already ready for a payout, and you just submit it. Alright, download the leaderboard. So he's done it first time. Let me see it. The fuck? Nah, that's not it, mate. Right, so I want you to make the leaderboard on the screenshots I sent you. Right, the leaderboard it must have over, it has at least 60 names, right? And you've just sent me a leaderboard with 10 people on it, mate. You know, and a bunch of colours like the fucking rainbow, mate. So you've not really, so when you see a name on this, you know, when you see a name on this leaderboard or this screenshot that I've sent you and it doesn't have a result in the funded size, don't add it. You don't need to look at that. Only the names with a result next to it is the ones that you add. Okay, does that make sense, mate? And you've only added 10, so redo it, rethink about yourself, because you're not flying smooth. So going into the lunch macro here, you can see we've got a sweep of minor buy side. Okay. ChatGPT's doing it again here. Alright, so let's take a look at the bias here, because obviously price is forming a model whilst ChatGPT does his own thing there. Let me sort out this leaderboard. We'll have a look at the bias. Alright. Let's drag that down a little bit. Alright, cool. So we're bearish on the 4. We're still bearish on the hourly. We was bullish on the 15 and it went neutral. And traded into what? Nothing. So it's a neutral 15, which is a bearish bias. And the 5 is now bullish. So it's a bearish bias. A sweep of minor buy side and a shift in structure lower. Now, as you can see on the Nasdaq, is that we shifted below the first low, the second low, and we took the third low, which would be IV. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so there wouldn't be any opportunities for shorts. First, second, third. And then we're getting into minor sell side or prominent sell side and sell side. So hopefully that makes sense. We wouldn't look for a short here even though our bias is bearish. Is that bullish order block on NQ at 11.36? He's just pulling things out of the air here, but let's see. 11.36. No. Yes. Wait, I don't know. Let me. I gotta zoom in. No, it's not. It didn't engulf the down close candle, so it's not. No. So yeah, you'd be correct in also saying that there isn't any inverse bullish order block here on either ES or the Nasdaq. Okay. So we took IV and no inverse order block. Shorts are not valid, obviously. So ChatGPT is taking its time there. He took 56 seconds to think about it. And then he finished thinking about it. And now he thought for another 28 seconds. And now he's analysing. Right, you better be making a good one. Can we see analyze? What do you mean? What do you want me to do? Lick the screen? Be on lewds like Wolf of Wall Street, mate, licking the Lambo. You know, I'm not going to say the name, but someone offered me today, they said, do you want to go 50-50 on a Lambo? Like I want a Lambo, brother. Seriously. It was a 2017 Hurricane. That was disrespectful, that was. Especially 50-50 as well, I mean, come on. Don't be silly. I'd put that money in my live account, thank you, and make more. I will be buying a car, don't get me wrong. Once we're in an established place. Cool, the Rolls Royce, yeah, it's good for the first 2 weeks. Who gives a shit about a car? Let's make more money on the life. You know? Black Ferrari, absolutely, brother. You will have a fucking black Ferrari. You will. Now, Ferraris, I want to buy the SP2 Daytona and a Mansory Cullinan, because I don't want the normal one anymore. I want the Mansory Cullinan. I'll wrap it in purple again. I'll get a purple SP2 and an 812 Superfast, but a special 812 Superfast, not the standard one. There's a specific one with a specific type of wrap, specific tyres. If you have a supercar and you don't put white writing on your tyres, then you've clearly not watched Cars, mate, when you were 6 years old. So, and also I'll be adding a GTR to the collection. So that's my lineup right now. That's what I have in mind. ChatGPT is still thinking. He's finalising the format. Okay, keep it going, mate. Yeah, you haven't played GTA. No, you just haven't. Mansory quality isn't good. Yeah, I know, but you know, they at least put a straight pipe on it, and I don't have to take it to Los Santos Customs, you know. So they do the work that you kind of was going to do anyway, and it's like, oh, they've done it, but it's, you know, it's not the best. It's there, you know. What time do you have the stream? Have the live stream at London, 2:45 AM EST and 3:45 AM EST. Yeah, that's what we did this morning. We was live. Yeah. So yeah, shorts are not valid here, obviously, because we took IV. No order block paired with the gaps, right? Okay, so ChatGPT said, "You're right, my bad. You wanted the full leaderboard, 60 plus names from your screenshots. Only including people who actually have a funded size filled in. I reread it properly. 83 names. Good. Download it here. Okay, so he looks like he's done his work here. Come on. Oh, yes. Lovely work, ChatGPT, mate. Lovely work. Is this accumulating from someone? No, we've swept sell stops, so it's not accumulating. Swept sell stops. That is the complete leaderboard. Cool. It is complete. Let's see. Holy shit, I think we've got a change. So, I think we've actually got a pretty significant change. Let me just check the last one. Oh, no, we don't. Oh, no, we do. We do. Oh, we do have... We actually got, you know, there is a couple changes here in the top 10. Interesting. Right, I'm going to upload this. It's coming in hot. Let's take a screenshot of this. Save to files. Okay, let's see. Come on, let's see it. Like he's getting teased, eh? Obviously, as you guys know, ICT traders are spinning in their chairs for some shorts here. Alright, here we go. Elite trading, you must have only just come out of your cave. You thought, you know what, the sun's out today, let's go for a walk. Milo, post it, G. I'm slapping these edits on, son, don't worry. I'm not editing it, I'm just, I'm cropping it, because ChatGPT sent me some huge A4, you know? Alright. Right, here it is. Here it is, the main event. So ES sweep sell stops. Obviously, with a sweeper sell side, you'd be looking for longs. So we're checking a second if we got a bullish bias. Okay, right. PVP. It's getting uploaded now. Let's see people inside there. This is it. This is the updated leaderboard. You can see where you're at. There it is. It's in the chat. So you'll be able to see your names on the leaderboard, see where you're at, where you stand. There is changes in the top 10, which is good to see. So the top three have pretty much stayed the same. So Jack has a lot of capital. Yeah. There is some names on there missing that I can see though. I don't know if I'm noticing this correctly, but where is C4? I swear he was on the... That's what I was thinking. Where is C4? No, I'm going to have a chat with this. I'm not having this, mate. Right, listen up, ChatGPT, mate, because you've missed out C4. He was at the top of the list, pretty much, and you've completely missed him off. No wonder the top 10's changed, mate. You've knocked him out. You know? Do it again. Relook at this, right? C4, he's in the screenshot. Let me check. I'm not even going to check, mate. He's at the top, right? Just make sure you do it correctly this time. You're missing people out. Milo, do I trade my eval off Combine? Top step from Tradeovate? No, so obviously it's a top step X, but you know, you don't trade your eval, you just pass it in 2 days, so yeah. There's a 2-day pass in this group. I mean, that's simple. Did you accumulate people asking C4 how he's done it? I mean, you know, we ain't playing around, right? That's what we done. How long? Well, you know, C4 will say, but yeah. C4's getting interviewed right now. That's jokes. I've only passed evals following the model. I get burned full porting news every time. Well, when we live stream CPI, we passed 150 accounts. So Rob, what happened to you there? I'm surprised you wasn't making the biggest bank robbery ever seen. Well, let's have a look at the bias, because bearish order block, shift higher and structure this. Let's see if it forms, right? Let's take a look. So 5 minute. Well, it's bearish, isn't it? Okay, that's fine. I don't care about the 15 because I'm looking at the hourly. Because that's bearish. And so's the 4 hour. So it's bearish. The bias is bearish, can't be changed. Longs would not be valid. Okay. Okay, good. ChatGPT has put C4 and he's back in the top 10. Yeah, good. What happened to ICT traders spinning in their chair and taking shorts? Even if they knew about TS trading stops, they would have just taken a loss. Right? Okay. Yeah, they're not spinning. I think they've died. They're not spinning anymore. You're right. Okay, so updated leaderboard. Good. Let's have a look. Nice. So he's updated it. Okay. I'm going to post the updated. It's coming in hot, guys. It's coming in hot. I mean, some people have nothing, and I mean, that is absurd. To have nothing. It is absurd. It's all good. You're working from something. Alright. This is updated. Yeah, that's the one. Right. Let me delete that one previously. Delete message. There it comes. Okay, so here's the updated leaderboard. This is the official top 10. That should be it. So I think he's added another 5 names or something. So yeah, obviously even if the 5 inversed and went bullish, you can see that the hourly would be bearish regardless. Okay, so the hourly would be bullish, the 15's bullish, and the 5 got respected. So it's bearish 5. So it's a neutral bias. Yeah, so 5 respected as bearish. That 5 minute to inverse, it would cause a bullish bias. And yeah, we shifted higher in structure. We inversed the order block paired with the gap. And then on ES, as you can see here, it was a failed shift. So failed shift and a neutral bias in this case. Mine said, before joining this Discord, I was trying to pass evals but never got one. Now I have more knowledge about the model. 350Ks, working towards my first ever payout. So glad that I'm part of the community. You guys are amazing, and yeah, okay, thank you, brother. I do appreciate it, brother. Yeah, lovely stuff. I mean, that's why we got so many good reviews, you know what I mean? No one else has that. They don't. And I speak normally to you guys, you know, as I say, I'm not going to sit here like other people. They speak all formal and everything. You know, this is how I speak normally, you know, day to day. This is it. When you've been doing this business for so long, you just monitor price, you're relaxed, that's it. That's all it is. Yeah. I think if you're not on the list, ChatGPT has lost the plot. If you're not on the list, put a 1. So if you put your name on the... What do you call it? Right, okay, I've fucking asked a lot of 1s. Holy shit. Right, so let me screenshot that. Wait, why are we getting so many 1s? Holy fuck. ChatGPT's retarded, mate. He's lost it. Yeah, C4, you are on the list now. 2 trades away from another 13 funded accounts. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So I'm getting another 11 accounts of Blue Nox, 5 accounts of Lucid. Yeah. Kevin Z burned 7k before joining here. Yeah. That's what happens when, you know, you're by yourself. You got to try really. Yeah, you got to learn it all yourself, you know. But yeah. There's Sam Mooka there. That's my brother Sam Mooka. He doesn't play around, you know. Just in the quarter of last year, he absolutely bankrupt Top Step for about 120k in payouts. That's what he does. Someone already asked about the London session, but that's at 2:45 AM EST. So still a failed shift on ES, as you can see. There's actually 2 failed shifts, right? What does that mean? Third shift? No. Okay, so It's as simple as a no, mate. You know, we went to shift higher in structure, it didn't shift on ES. Cool. Second time, failed to shift. Okay, took the buy stops. Third time, no. It must re-seek sell stops. So now we want to seek sell stops if we want to take an opportunity for longs. Relative equal lows, sell side, or we take buy side. I mean, who cares? If a bias forms from that point, cool. As of now, not seeking any opportunities. Okay? One sec, guys. Right. Right. Anyone trying to inform people that don't know the times of the sessions, don't bother, because it is on the checklist guide. That's the time of the sessions. It is there. Very simple stuff. Very, very simple stuff. Lazy 20. Lizzie. I don't know how you say your username. 22 has just put it in the chat. I'll put here. That is the London, New York, and PM. Okay, that is very simple stuff. What time do you wake up? Type question. You know. Yeah. Lucifer said PM time. Not yet, brother. Not yet. Almost. Almost. We still got time in the lunch macro here, so not quite. Definitely a high probability that we won't get a trade here. That's fine. So let's look at the 5. So we traded bearish, and it's still bearish. The 15 still bullish. The hourly still bullish, and the 4 hour still bearish. So it's a neutral bias. Hence we're trading neutral. Okay. Mine's just gonna go hit the gym. Lovely. You see, Mines, that you found yourself. You woke up. You wasn't in the group. Boom, we got that sorted real quick. He's back. Milliseconds. Mines might have thought he was GG69 for a second. Nah, absolutely not. We wouldn't get rid of Mines. We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. He's mining. Mines puts in a lot of work. He puts in more work than most people in this whole Discord. That's what he does. I believe he's from Morocco. He's not playing around. As far as like cancelling, you don't need to cancel. It'll just be, you know, automatic. However you choose, really. Classic marriage is fake. Well, you know, I don't know if you're talking about marriage, but, you know, marriage is not fake, but marriage is non-beneficial to the man, obviously. It's more of a female thing, you know. Oh, yeah, it's getting a dress and everything. And then the man gets fucked 50%. So it's all about money, right? And security as a female. So that's what marriage is. But yeah. No, it doesn't bring any benefit to the man. Definitely not. I wouldn't take things too seriously, to be honest. You know, focus on the business, and as long as the business is afloat, even if, you know, you're going to sit there and think, oh, you know, this thing's gone, cool. And then you're more focused on business. You're either focused on business with the ting or without the ting. The ting leaves, you know, it doesn't affect you at all. You know what I mean? Oh, I got an email. Tradeovate deposit. Tradeovate notification. Your deposit request has been approved and account balance adjusted accordingly. Nice. So that's the second deposit of the week landed. You see, when you receive payouts from all these different firms that are coming into my accounts, is that I'm just, you know, shipping them off. The money comes in, like, fuck off. Get the money out, you know what I mean? Get it back in the live, please. You know, depends where it comes from, you know, but we can't discuss that on YouTube. I'm obviously recording, so. But yeah, there's obviously 2 live accounts. Yeah. Why women deserve less? What do you mean, brother? I wouldn't say women deserve less, you know what I mean? But so it's always equal. It's an equal exchange in all business and relationships. Male, female relationships, business is all equal. And if there's not a value exchange which is equal, then it collapses. That is the biggest advice. It will always collapse. If it's not an equal friendship, an equal relationship, it will cook itself. That's what will happen. C4 with the banging quotes there, you see. See, C4 really changed my life. You guys don't even know. He really not inspired me, but directed me and guided me on the Bible. Very much so. Even though I was already involved with praying and the Bible, C4 actually, you know, big credits there. Big credits. It's crazy. It really is. I'll tell you what, you won't understand what God's doing at the time though sometimes. Sometimes you be, oh, this is what I prayed for, and then sometimes you think, I don't know if it is. So, it always is. It's always at your best interest. And it was so hard sometimes to understand if it is, you know. So obviously the Nasdaq standing with a neutral bias. You can see anyone who took longs, they're on their way to getting taken out, stopped out, whatever you want to call it. There just hasn't been any positions. People who took shorts, they lost money. That was official. People who took longs, they obviously are on their route right there. And shorts here wouldn't be valid either because of that bias. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's the end of the lunch macro there. We're going to be waiting for the PM. So 1:45 PM EST, we shall craft the PM bias, lunch highs, lunch lows, etc. The usual. Mind is on its way to the gym. So far today we're up 0.31R, 8.65R on the month of January. We are 3 weeks into the year officially from today. Okay. I'll speak to you guys for the PM. I'm going to end the stream here. I'll go live at 1:30 PM. So in an hour and 15 minutes, I'll go live. I'll speak to you guys shortly. Cool, so the daily is obviously neutral. The fucking AC is definitely cold. Wow, it's gone very cold. Alright, it's back. 4 hour time frame. Well, it was bearish. Let's have a look. It goes bullish at this point, so it's not met the bias. ES didn't take the low. You can see 847, which is 4 points out on ES, does cause a neutral bias on the 4 hour. As of now, it's still going to be bearish. Okay, hourly time frame, what are we dealing with? Let's turn it on, let's see. Let's have a look, let's have a look. Hourly bullish gap to the left. right? So if we just look at ES, we have an hourly low. ES took the hourly low. We inverse the bearish gap, which would be bullish. We didn't take an hourly high or trade into that gap. So it's going to be neutral on the hourly time frame. Does that make sense? It's neutral because ES took the low. Okay, we inverse the gap. The draw would be bullish. It's bullish to a certain extent. It's not going to be bullish if the Nasdaq drops to 15. We're still bullish from an inverse, right? So we know that. Okay. There you go. Now let's look at the 15. So what are we dealing with here? So we had a 15-minute bullish gap, get inversed, draw towards the low, right? And it got inversed on this candle. ES is about to take the low, relative equal, 847, a point off. So that, once ES takes that low, or the Nasdaq takes that, I mean, has it taken that low? 2 equal lows on both assets there, you see, relative equal. So that will likely get taken. As of now, the 15 is going to be bearish. That's what it is. And the 5, fucking hell, it's very close to being bullish, but not quite. It's a tick off, isn't it? So it inversed the bullish gap and is actually currently bearish towards the low. So we have 2 intraday time frames for this draw at 9:25, right? As much as you would think, oh, it's a bullish price. No, price is showing signs that it wants to draw low. It wants to take these relative equal here. So that would then cause a 5 bullish, change the bias slightly, 4 hour neutral, the whole 9 yards. I mean, if we look at the 4 hour now, let's look at that. I think, well, let's at least mark it on ES. Let's get it all out here. So we don't have a bullish bias right now. We'll have that marked on ES. ES will take that in a sec. There you go. So ES has just done that, which now gives us what? 4 hours obviously neutral. So big changes here just from that. So neutral 4 hour, neutral daily, neutral on the hourly, and then neutral on the 15. And bullish on the 5. Okay. Well, matter of fact, that's not bullish on the 5. That is neutral on the 5. Holy shit. It is a full neutral bias. Full. So we only go bullish on the 5 once we get to this tiny gap. We only go bullish on the 15 until price trades to the 15-minute bullish gap. We only go bullish on the hourly until price trades the hourly bullish gap, which is referenced to the left. So yeah, we can get intraday bullish from this area, but Nasdaq needs to take these relative equal first. So that's that. We don't even have a bias. So you can mark that. Rel. Like that. Done. Okay, so if price shifts higher, that would be an example of an invalid model. 15 is bullish to the left. Big news. Big news indeed. I'm intrigued. Let's see this. Okay, right. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so that is entirely correct. It is bullish to the left. That is a very good spot indeed. Okay. And the 5 would go bullish, preferably relative equal lows to get taken on the Nasdaq. And that's it. Okay, ES takes sell side, the relative equal lows. Cool. Let's see if we get shift higher in structure and we can work from there. Alright. Yeah, we'll build slightly stronger intraday bias with price taking that intra, what do you call it? Relative equal lows. We get a bullish 5 as well. Now, if we look at a 5-minute bearish gap, we got up until here at 237. That's a bias invalidation point. It's also our invalidation high. So we can mark that. This high is not only the third swing high, so invalidation high, it's also the bias invalidation point, because our bias isn't very strong, right? Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Simply look for longs. So what happens in the PM? AM, run on stops and lunch. PM continues the New York AM. More times than not. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Austin L requested to speak. Right, so Austin, brother, we do not speak in this group. It's all good. Give me a second. Let me just sort this out. Now, they can't request to speak. That's the thing. So it doesn't actually, or maybe it does allow. I mean, you know, I don't let people speak because it's like, you know, this ain't a one-to-one mentorship. I don't offer a one-to-one. You can't pay me for a one-to-one. Don't care. You know, done it with people in the past. Great results and cool. Otherwise, I'm not gonna let, you know, people speak. It would just annoy other people, you know. And I can't be bothered. Yeah, but that's it. We did obviously speak to a couple people, but not trading live, obviously. It was when we was backtesting 2025. You know, I spoke to a couple of you guys. It was good. Yeah. But there's no point, you know, price is displacing higher. And then we have some guy come in, like, oh, brother, why is it displacing? I don't know why it's displacing. It's displacing, mate, you know? So, you know, I'll start spinning in my chair if I start having people just turn on their mic everywhere, all over the place. So, everyone will go bonkers. Everyone's going to be spinning in their chair, full 360s, you know. There's going to be cats going off the fucking balcony and shit. So, obviously the 5's gone bullish now. So, that's good to see. Bit more of a stronger intraday here. Okay. Just monitoring the PM, that's all it is. IV changed? No. No, I wouldn't change the IV. You know why? Because for the Nasdaq to shift, so IV would be here if we create a short-term high around here. Now, yes, it's 3 short-term highs. Technically, it would be this one. But you need to understand, when you have a short-term high in very close proximity, it's not realistic for the Nasdaq to shift above this high and not take this high. That makes sense. So I talk about invalidation high is either a 5-minute swing or the Nasdaq has shifted enough. Does that make sense? So the Nasdaq has shifted enough from a perspective. So if we create a high, short-term high down here and then shift, and then we take this high, I would say, okay, price has taken one of the first objectives. If that makes sense. Yeah, that's it. Because, you know, otherwise the Nasdaq can shift 100 points. You're then looking to take in a position because your bias is still bullish. You swept sell side. Okay, at what point does the trade become invalid? That's why it's an invalidation high. So obviously we got 186 people looking at the PM. So it does show you the laziness. Do you see that, guys? The laziness. Some people look at the AM session, some don't turn up for London, some turn up for the... I mean, what is this? You know? What is this? Oh, I'm just going to have a McDonald's, bro. You know? No, you're fat. You're not allowed at McDonald's. It's just laziness, right? You need to understand that you got to turn up for every single session. Look at Jex. He's in New York time zone, he's trading London. Do you see that? And it's snowing outside. He doesn't give a shit. He's turning up for the money. And through this year, we're going to experience 5 losing trades in a row. So you're going to have a losing streak. And you're still going to turn up every single period. You don't just say, oh, you know, oh, Milo's won 6 trades in a row. Let's just watch him. No, that's probably the worst time, right? So it's all based off probability. I'll have another 6 winning trades or 5 losing trades or 1 on 1 off. I mean, you know, we're not magicians. We don't predict the future. I don't care. I turn up and do my job and I get paid. Right, so it's no probable difference to whether you choose to turn up on one random London session and then say, oh, I look a bit in New York. No, you need to turn up every single session to get the full probable edge for the model. Otherwise, you're going to miss 2R here, and then, oh yeah, you missed the losing trade, and then you missed 2R. I mean, what is that? You might as well go off the balcony with the cat. If you did that in any other job, you get fucking sacked. And you're doing it to yourself. You're only cheating yourself. Okay? That child support ain't gonna pay itself. What child support? You shouldn't have had a child in the first place, brother. That's fucked up. If you're worrying about a child support and all that, you shouldn't have had one anyway. You know? What's 5k USD a month? You gotta be worrying about child support. Seriously, brother, come on. His name is Apples. This poor child, you know. Forgive him. All he had today was an apple, mate. Let's have a look at the bias. I mean, it's probably not really changed. Hourly time frame might have changed. Let's take a look. Not quite. It's not quite there yet. 4-hour time frame. Very fucking interesting, isn't it? So now we've got a bullish 4-hour. You see how we're building a nice, strong bullish bias? Step by step. So we've got 100% bullish bias here. Market structure shift above the short-term high. IV at this area. We didn't put a short-term high in there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, the only reason why I say this to you guys about turning up to random different sessions is because I just hate laziness, and I also hate the fact that people are going to ask questions about, you know, random questions, you know, how's my progress going, bro? Shit, because you can't even turn up to monitor price, so you're cooked, beyond cooked, off the absolute charts, because I can't drag someone through. And I don't care if you turn up for the sessions or not, because it's down to you at the end of the day to put in the work. If you can't even turn up for a session, that is all you. There's a reason why people are fat, and there's a people why are sticks in this world, right? And it's because some of them turn up and do the work in the gym, and some don't. That's all it is. So when you see a fat guy, it's because he didn't go to the gym and he's lazy. That's it. When I see fat people, lazy. Instant laziness. Instantly. There is no excuse. No excuse. I would never change my mind about that. When I see a fat person, I know, I don't judge them. Many fat people, great people. I'm just saying, laziness. It's laziness. It is. That's what it is. You wouldn't see 500 years ago a fat person. Why is that? Because they work so fucking hard and they eat so little. It's not possible to get fat. If you were fat 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, right? You was rich. That's what it is. That's what it is. And then they ask why they're not improving. I mean, it's just one of those things, right? So is that a failed shift? So that's not actually a failed shift. That's not a failed shift, no. So it'd only be a failed shift, right? A failed shift example is that price would trade above the short-term high, attempt to shift, and not close above. That would be an example of a failed shift. And another failed shift is that we do close above the high, but we don't form a gap within the shift. So that's the two examples of a failed shift. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, you're going to see even just small fluctuations of, let's say, 7 more people suddenly just join mid-macro. I mean, that is just so sloppy. No wonder people get fucking sacked. They can't even work for themselves. But there's a lot of people who say to click onto the stream just to get that guidance, which is great, because they're now independent. You know, so our shift would be above this short-term high. That's what we'd be looking at here. Bullish on the 4 hour. Are we still bullish on the 5? Well, that's extremely questionable. So, bullish on the 5, the answer to that would be no. So we inverse and took the low. So it'd be neutral on the 5. Okay, so just adjust that quickly. That's a neutral 5. And the 15 would still be bullish, and the 4 hours bullish. So we're getting a shift on the Nasdaq slowly. Okay, can delete this area here. We swept sell side. Simple stuff. So that's a shift on the Nasdaq. Now on ES we haven't shifted. So that's what we're looking at. Let's have a look. So everyone is saying that the 15 is bearish. Okay. So staying on top of intraday, you can see. Take that back. And the 5 goes bearish at IV, hence why it is the invalidation high. So what's the bias right now? It's neutral. Right, as far as the hourly, it never traded into that bullish gap. So we have a neutral hourly, bullish on the 4 hour, the 15, it was bullish. So you can see like that. And then ES has performed a failed shift in structure. Okay. So what does a failed shift usually do for those that don't know? For those that do know, let's tell the don't knows. So what does a failed shift usually do? It retakes sell stops. Yeah. Especially after 2 failed shifts, it's extremely probable that price would reseek sell stops. So this is the first failed shift on ES. You see how it trades above the high and doesn't close above. That's a failed shift. It created a gap. Okay, it's fine. They didn't close above high. That's a failed shift. Okay, so it's likely going to seek sell stops, which is here. It would give the hourly to be bullish again and bias to tick towards being bullish, obviously. So 5, 15 hourly and 4 hour would be bullish at sell stops as well. But you know, every single day we do upload every single stream on YouTube. You know, that's what we do. No one else does that. You won't find anyone doing that. Doesn't happen. I simply don't care. You know, I upload everything. It's great. Why do we not monitor the second PM session? Because I would die, brother. Yeah, I would pass away. That would be around 5 AM for me, and then I'd be waking up and trading London. Yeah, I would pass away. And also that macro is not macro that we want to monitor anyway. We monitor the 3 most high probability macros there are in the space. Now, to ask the question that why don't we monitor the second PM macro, around 50% of the Discord doesn't turn up for the macros that I personally monitor anyway. Because I turn up to make all of the money. And there's people here that do. They don't play around. They turn up every single stream. And they know. They're getting paid. That's what they do. Right? So they turn up for London, the New York AM, and the PM. Yeah. And we got people from all different countries. It's pretty mad. You know, mine's is in Morocco. We've got C4, obviously in the US, Texas area, you know, Portugal. All right, let's get some fucking countries in the chat. Let's get some countries. All right, Belgium, here we go. Estonia, New York, Bulgaria, UK, US, Italy. I mean, look, we got the whole world now. Cyprus. Oh, we do have someone from Cyprus. I love Cyprus, mate. Love it. Dubai. I actually fucking love Cyprus. I got a thing for Cyprus. Know what it is? It is full of UK people, and I despise UK people. But something about Cyprus. Yeah, it's UK pretty much owned in the past, and it's half Turkish. I love it. I don't know what it is. It's great. Miami. Colombian, US. I think that's a Colombian flag, if I'm pretty sure. I think it's Colombian. I do like my Colombians. Texas. Whereabouts in Texas, brother? Obviously, I was in, what do you call it? I was in Houston, yeah. Dallas. What's Dallas saying? Do you rate it? You think Dallas is good? You hate Houston? Yeah, I thought Houston was shit. That's why I left. Time zone. The women, 1 out of 10. I didn't even know if I seen a female, to be honest. Because the ones that I seen, I was like, you know what I mean? It was one of those ones. You really couldn't tell what you was looking at. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those ones. Dallas, everyone's saying Dallas is better than Houston, yeah. Austin, yeah. Everyone was telling me Austin, yeah. Everyone was saying that. Camilla said Trump's speaking now. Okay, very interesting news that. Very interesting. Thank you. We will continue to monitor price. It's fine. We'll see. Thailand. PTE Thailand. That's what I thought. I did think Austin. I didn't go Austin because I actually seen a report that there was loads of gay people. I generally did. It said it was the highest capital in Texas of gay people, so that's why I didn't go. Dallas, I was meant to go, but I couldn't be bothered, and I just stayed in Houston. I was like, yeah, the US it's kind of done. What is my time zone? I'm the opposite of New York. Complete opposite of New York. It's great. I trade in the evenings. London. London for me, the sun's starting to go down. New York's dark. PM's dark. I like trading in the dark. I don't like popping Red Bulls in the New York AM in Miami. No thank you. I get a good fucking sleep. I don't set alarms. It's great. Thailand's fucking sick. It is. It's great. Bro, me and Dylan have been down there and got molested by a gay. Holy shit. What, in Austin? Yeah, oh my god. Mad. I wouldn't even put it as unbelievable. I mean, the facts are facts, It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Things are going to happen all different places, If you're in LA, you're probably going to get stabbed by a needle. If you're in New York, you probably get robbed by a homeless man or one of those wannabe sea blue rappers from New York who think they're going to shoot and blow your head off, like K-Flock. And then if you're in Miami, you probably get ran over by Coinsegg, or Bugatti. Yeah. Fucking Lil Haiti, mate, in Miami. I don't like Miami, mate. It's a bunch of... You guys know what I say about Miami. Miami would only be good if there wasn't a bunch of gay people there. Now they're gay. Right? They're straight, but they're gay. There's a difference. You know what I mean? I can't stand it. I couldn't enjoy myself there. I didn't feel relaxed. I felt like you feel like you're always on like 5 grams of cocaine. That's what it feels like when you're in Miami. That's what it feels like. Oh, bro, what do you do, bro? I'm in the gym trying to get a pump, squeezing out my last few reps. Oh, bro, you're looking shredded, bro. What do you do for a living, bro? Put this fucking dumbbell around your head, mate. That's what I do. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's always getting harassed. You can't chill. You go out for a meal. You're halfway through the meal. Oh, bro, that steak looks amazing, bro. Do you mind an interview, bro? The amount of times it was just like unbelievable. In Thailand, no one ever chats to me. It's great. And you only chat to someone if you want to. Miami, you get harassed. What do you diagnose them with? Undiagnosable. Fire risk management today. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. So people who took longs here, they've seen obviously, PM session, swept sell side, shifted, failed shift on ES, and bias was neutral. They got stopped, right? That's what happened to them. No trades for us in the PM. We turned up, we monitored, we looked to the New York AM, we got a break even trade. And in London, we did the same, right? We managed risk to a T and got a 0.31R profit to push us up to 8.6R on a month. Okay, so I'll speak to you guys tomorrow for the London session, and then as we approach the New York session tomorrow, okay, we're gonna create a plan, as Trump is speaking at 8:30 AM. So we're gonna make an approach. Speak to you tomorrow for London. Be live at 2:20 AM EST. Okay.